That idea, I think, of ends and exits is obviously, has different kind of meanings, but it points very specifically toward an essay written by Douglas Crimp called The End of Painting, which came out in the spring of 1981, and also to an essay by Thomas Lawson. He wrote an essay later in 1981 called Last Exit Painting. And that's why I really wanted to talk to him about this time period and to make a consideration of his work as a critic and as not an academic, because at that time he was a student. And it's amazing to think that, this essay retains such a level of power 30-something years later. We decided to focus on this period when Eli and Edith Broad began collecting in the 1980s.
So there was this atmosphere of the end of things, and then art seemed to be in a crisis. There wasn't the kind since the 80s we've experienced this astonishing flourishing of contemporary art as a really viable kind of discourse, but in the 70s it was very marginal and fraught with intergenerational issues and very combative. Which again, I think nowadays we don't quite understand, but there were battles. Really battles.
It's interesting to think about this time in the late 1970s, I think, where you had several younger artists who felt disillusioned with the way that art criticism or contemporary art was being discussed. And I think in some ways it was either about abstraction and about forms that did not necessarily apply to all of the things that they were thinking about vis-a-vis the world. For Crimp, he saw photography as the way to move forward and to have a progressive or avant-garde conversation about contemporary art. And for Lawson, the thing that I love so much is that, there is this we don't throw out the baby with the kitchen sink thing. It's like painting is still a super viable and valid means of creating art and of talking about ideas in art. And so he was thinking about appropriation while not quite giving away this interest and exploration in painting.
To my mind, there was a way in which a lot of the sort of theoretical thinking of the 70s was very lockstep to nowhere. It was like, if you really believed that stuff, you couldn't make art. And that wasn't really an option. If you're an artist, you're going to make art. And I think was, for the most part, the belief of people who are making art in this kind of area. It's like, how do you then make art if you're being told that it's somehow immoral or unethical or bad politics?